Western shamanism is meant for Westerns. Now let's discuss this a little bit, because we can clearly see that Western society and culture is a massive crisis. I've already explained this in other videos, what exactly is going on. We see it at so many levels in our society, from economics, politics, the social system, social engineering, and all the agendas going on. We have crisis in masculinity and all of that kind of stuff. So within the collective consciousness of Western society, there's so much going on which affects us at so many different levels. So because there's crisis, there's also opportunity, there's solutions. So let's talk about that. So what is our Western culture or society or collective consciousness basically built upon? Now, you might be coming from the United States when you're watching this as well, so let's discuss that, because you're part of the West as well. But basically, Western culture is of course European. The European collective consciousness exists out of war, commerce and trade, colonization and genocide. Okay, so that's basically the collective consciousness that exists within us. So no wonder why so many people are actually holding something within them that is causing them to feel fearful, anxious, ashamed, guilty, and all of that stuff. Then of course is like also the true spiritual heritage of Western society. The spirituality in the West has also basically been displaced from their own roots. Okay, we have been displaced from our own roots way before we start counting the years. Okay, so over 2000 years ago, the genocides that existed in Europe has basically displaced us from our spiritual roots, our culture, our heritage, and also basically the ancient shamans, the seers, the medicine men and women, of course, also has been corrupted through modern religion. Modern religion has basically been weaponized to completely wipe out the Western society and culture. Now what we see right now is like a lot of people in the West, they go to the East for answers. Eastern philosophy, Eastern spirituality. They go to Bali, they go to Indonesia, they go to Nepal, they go to Japan, they go to all places of the earth, except looking really like where are our roots really coming from. Okay, so this is one thing. Now, Western shamanism is not meant for a luxury escape from your reality. Okay, you go a bit on a journey, you go a bit in a meditation and all of that, and you can come back to your fancy friendships and all of that, and you say, oh, I've been on a shamanic journey, I've experienced this, and that, and then you come back to reality, you go to your shitty job and you go and crack on with your daily life. It's not what this is about either. That's really like what we see like a lot of people doing, going to all sorts of spiritual retreats, mindfulness, meditation, and all of these things, yoga retreats, and everything that we see from the East coming here to the West as a luxury escape. Okay, like a bypass or self-improvement. Self-improvement can also be like a masturbation for the mind, but what it is that we can do with it. So because we experience so much of crisis within the collective consciousness within the West, it is not that we need to become disassociated from our reality. I mean, take for example like men who have been diagnosed with ADHD, and part of that is genetics, another part it has been amplified through childhood trauma, through neglect, emotional abuse and all of that. And then later on in life it is either like you wanted to prove your worth through accomplishments by becoming an overachiever, or you go into a state of avoidance because you already feel life is pointless and all of that, because nothing that you can do will satisfy your voids and emptiness that exists within you. And then you go into Eastern philosophy and spirituality as a luxury escape. Now, what we must do is, first of all, is to really reconnect with our roots and cultural and spiritual heritage. That's number one. Number two is of course doing the shadow work. The shadow work of diving deep within our subconscious mind and really see, of course, like what is our programming and conditioning that made you where you are at. What is causing these feelings of fear, shame, guilt and whatever. I mean, another part is of course soul retrieval, ancestral healing, because you can look to both your parents, your father, your mother, but if you also count their parents, your grandfather, your grandmother, if you multiply that by over 10 generations, we have over 4,000 ancestors that has caused our current soul blueprint. We carry this information within our DNA and subconscious. And when we look to our ancestors, we see of course like the part of the European colonization, the genocides, the war, commerce and trades. That's really what Western society is built upon. Now, this is not something to be ashamed about, because we are not meant, obviously, to go and sit in a cave all day long searching for enlightenment. So for us, it is necessary to go, first of all, look at that what needs to be healed. But second part is, of course, the optimization of the mind, body and spirit, so we become like a better performance within this modern day culture. And part of that is still commerce and trade. That's Western society, that's Western culture. It's not like avoiding it, because avoiding it is causing lots of other problems, like disassociation, is that you don't feel connected and engaged with the world around you and reality, which is a common thing for people with ADHD and who have been through childhood trauma, emotional neglect, emotional abuse. They don't feel grounded, connected within themselves. They go into spirituality, they open up their higher energy centers, and now they don't want to come back and be part of this world. And then shamanism can serve, first of all, to heal that what needs to be healed, but second, to optimize our performance in the world. So it is becoming a high performance engine in order to be of service, to create something that we really want to create. So that's the message here of today's video. Shamanism for Western culture. It is a big topic. It is a lot of grounds we need to cover. We need to look at our ancestral history of everything that our ancestors has experienced throughout colonization and genocides, the war and all of it, which still kind of is part of our collective. See really like throughout our journeys like what is currently affecting us, heal that part so we can move on and optimize our mind, body and spirits so we become of a better service to humanity. Alright, I'll leave it with this one. Please let me know your thoughts. Simply leave a comment below. See you in one of my next videos. Take care for now.